Hi, Geo 131 Wednesday Lab Group. We're going to try a bold experiment, which is an online lab. Um, so this lab, although it's not going to be technically due until the final, you are going to be responsible for all the information in this lab for exam 2. So if you just want to watch the video and just get the information down, that's okay. If you would like to do the lab in person in the lab environment during finals week instead to really understand it, that is absolutely okay too, and we can schedule time for that. Just keep in mind you got to know the stuff by exam 2, and you need to hand this in by the final. So thank you so much for your patience. So the lab we're working on, and you should have this lab at home because I handed this out before I got so horribly sick, is the Glaciers and Tug Hill Aquifer Lab. And we're just going to focus on this little mini video on the first 2 questions. And on the first 2 questions, what we're going to try and do is visualize the topographic maps for these different features. So you have all these features here. These are all erosional features. Remember, always read those little introductions. I'm not writing that for my health. Over here, I'm just going to put up the video in the corner so I can see what I'm doing. Over here, it's a continuation, and then down here we have depositional features, and these are once again features you should be able to see in your lab book or in your textbook as well. I have a diagram here. Feel free, Wikipedia catches hell a lot. Wikipedia is an excellent place to get started, although you don't want to finish there. And I've been to the Wikipedia pages for a lot of these topics, particularly these glacial features. In fact, I got a lot of images for other classes from the Wikipedia site of these images. So don't be afraid to use Wikipedia as well for helping you through these sections. There are times where Wikipedia is going to give you the opposite of what you want. That's when you rely on me as an expert to try to advise you on which Wikipedia pages to use. So if you want to look any of these guys up, either in your book or on the internet, Wikipedia is a good resource. And looking at the actual pictures of the features might help you draw a picture of the topographic map. So for those first 2 questions, you're just going to do an estimate of a topographic map. It says do 8 elevations. You don't have to make 8 elevation lines. It tends to get a little crowded, but the lowest elevation should be marked 1, and the highest elevation should be marked 8. Now go ahead and try number 1 and number 2 in your lab in part 1, and pause the video. Pause and think. I made a little flashcard here holding up. Pause and think right now and try to answer those questions. Okay, so hopefully you have gone ahead and answered the questions. We're now going to review the answers. Now, I actually, for some of the features, I made a good map, one that would get a check if you did it in the classroom, and a better or best map. That's a little bit more realistic and what you should expect to see. So for cirques, this is our good map, and this is our slightly better map. Okay, you can see that we have this kind of U-shaped valley going in, and that's what a cirque really is. It's the start of that U-shaped valley. It's kind of an amphitheater-shaped feature that enters into, down here we would have our trough. So down here we would have, our trough. For horn, there's a couple of different ways. So a horn is where we have different cirques meet. They're very often triangular or quadrilateral shaped. You can also have a kind of rounded horn like you have here. Okay, both of these are acceptable. 1 right down here is the lowest elevation, so the outside's the lowest elevation, and 8's the highest. For an aerate it's not always straight. Sometimes it can be curved, sometimes it can be wiggly. It's that long ridge. So ridge is going to be symmetrical on each side. You're going to have the highest elevations towards the center and the lowest elevations towards the outside. Over here, we have a trough, okay? Trout, it's going to be the opposite of an aerate. A good drawing of a trout, you would have the center being low elevation and the outsides here will be our highest elevation. Now, the thing is, if you drew this, this is a good drawing of a trout. But a real trout is tilted somewhat. So what it's really going to look like on the map are these kind of U shapes, these nested U shapes, where 8 on the outside is going to be the highest elevation, and then over here we have in the center our, trying to get it on the screen, center lowest elevation. Obviously, I'm not a TV personality, or I would be more comfortable knowing what's on camera and what's not. So let's go into the next set of questions.